Part two, the creepy thing that was in his basement that the dead woman from back in the 20s or whatever said, yeah, we don't go down there. And then my friend in the current time saying, oh, yeah, we don't go into the basement. So on further examination, there was some, and I'd never seen anything like this before. And this is one of those that's going to sound completely bonkers. But I got the impression that it wasn't just in his house, it was associated with the neighborhood. This isn't unusual, and I've never figured out what they are. They're not all the same. I've seen lots of different kinds. This particular one looked like almost like a giant snake, but we're not talking about like a boa constrictor. We're talking about something that was, I don't know, the size of a VW bug, like around, and it was really long. And it wasn't exactly like a snake because it could crawl, but not crawl slither. I can't even describe it. Anyway, this thing, I didn't work with a sketch artist on this one, but this thing went through like the old sewer pipes. It was associated with that. And it was almost like it was leeching off human energy, and that was its entire purpose. It wasn't good, but it wasn't actually attacking anyone, like actually hurting people, other than taking energy. It didn't like that, it wasn't there, it wasn't its. But it wasn't like causing harm. And it was one of those situations that my guide in the past, most of the time says that we don't do anything with those unless they're actually physically hurting somebody. So because it was affecting such a large group of people, the way he explained it to me, like the whole neighborhood, it wasn't taking enough energy from one individual for it to be considered harmful. So it's an ecosystem, like I've explained. There are things we don't understand that live with us, parallel, alongside. I don't know if they're part of our reality, but they definitely have an impact on it. And this was one of those. So what we're able to do in those situations when we run into them, if we're not able to get rid of it, or if my guide says that that isn't something that we deal with, side note, that's entirely about ethics. There are certain things that we are not allowed to do because of free will. So you can never affect the free will of another person. And sometimes there are entities we can't affect the free will of too. So I don't understand exactly why. He's never explained it. I can ask questions sometimes and they don't always get answered. But in this particular situation, all we can do is mitigate for the client. So there were certain things that the client could do to make sure that that entity wasn't welcome in his home, and just basically make his home not part of that thing's path anymore. So yeah, have no idea what it's called. I can still see it in my head. I wish I was a better artist so I could draw it for you. Maybe someday I will retain another sketch artist, because some of those pictures were freaking weird.